For Montana East Regional News, this is Court Watch. This is Emily Boyles. Thursday, the prosecution team in the Walter Larson case opened with more testimony from the Department of Criminal Investigations. Lee Johnson continued his testimony, and Jimmy Wegg, the agent in charge of DCI's Computer Crimes Unit, also testified. Wegg patiently explained to the jury how computer information is stored and written over on hard drives and how his unit recovers that information, including if information is erased by the user. He showed that Larson's computer had been used to create an email account through Yahoo that was linked to emails received by Brad Holtz, Susan Casey's other love interest. Jamie Schillinger, a Billings police officer who introduced the initial search of Larson's home after obtaining consent from Larson, was next on the stand. Schillinger, a former computer technician, addressed how the computer found in Larson's home was handled, as well as some of the initial observations in Larson's home, including receipts and trash, and a Powerball ticket on his refrigerator introduced during cross-examination by the defense team. The majority of the day was taken up by the jury viewing the video of the first formal questioning of Larson by the Billings Police Department at the request of the Glendive Police Department. Sean Patrick Finnegan, another Billings police officer, verified for the prosecution the authenticity of the video and photo documents, which includes redness on Larson's upper back and neck. The interview, taken the day after the disappearance, started with Larson's version of the general history he had with Susan Casey. He said, quote, "I wasn't very good at communicating with her. She decided she wanted the divorce, and looking back on it now, she made the right decision. I wanted to stay with her." The two were married for several years. However, according to Larson's recall on the tape, they did not live in the same place very often because he claimed she had some legal issues of her own to deal with in Circle. State district court records do not reflect any blemishes, though, on Susan Casey's record. Larson insisted on the tape that he had not been in Susan Casey's apartment since the Thursday prior to her disappearance. When pressed by law enforcement, Larson said he came to Glendive the night of April 11 because Susan Casey had not answered her phone. He claimed that once he saw her vehicle in front of her apartment building, he figured she was sleeping and passed out from drinking. He says he knocked softly because he did not want to wake up the children, and that when there was no answer, he returned to Billings. On the way home, he said, somewhere between the rest area and Terry, south of Glendive on I-94, he ran over a deer that had been hit by another vehicle. He also said the deer was smelling from burning where it was stuck to the bottom of his vehicle, and he later took it to get clean from that and bugs. He did not mention the inside of the vehicle, which had also been cleaned, as described by law enforcement yesterday. He was asked if law enforcement would find Susan's DNA on the undercarriage of the vehicle instead of a deer. Larson said on the tape, quote, "I don't know for certain. It couldn't have been her. It's deer as far as I know. If you're saying it could be something else, if you're saying it was her, I didn't know. The only way it could have been her was if she was on the highway. When I say I hit a deer, everybody is thinking it's a live deer," unquote. Billings police asked Larson why he did not call the police regarding hitting the deer and why he did not call the police because he could not contact Susan Casey. He said once he saw her vehicle parked in front of her apartment, it never occurred to him to call the police to do a welfare check because he assumed that she was just passed out. Billings police also pressed Larson regarding the 1998 incident at the Casey home. He said, quote, "I had thoughts of doing something. I wasn't planning on doing anything. I would have intended to hurt Ted to try and hurt her. I love her and I would never hurt her. She means more to me than even I mean to myself," unquote. Also, in regards to the 1998 incident, Larson said the only time he made a middle-of-the-night trip like he did on April 11th of 2008 was in 1998, quote, "when I was stupid 10 years ago," unquote. He said what made him go out this time was that he was concerned that Susan was out drinking and having problems with her husband, and he was concerned she would get a DUI. The jury also learned through the interview that at the time of Susan's disappearance, Larson said he was in therapy to learn coping and anger management skills. During cross-examination following the video, the jury also learned that the search by consent ended when officers found a towel marked with blood. Court will convene on Friday morning at 8:30 a.m. Montana East will be there being your eyes and ears in the courtroom, and we'll bring you an update again tomorrow. For Montana East Regional News, this is Emily